We'll be right with you guys. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, about to go live. Tornado warning, including downtown St. Louis City, parts of St. Louis County there as well. Doesn't look like very strong rotation, but we do have definitely some big hail in that storm. I'll be right with you guys. Just gotta get settled here. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Please put in the chat if we got audio good. Just got observed. Okay. Alrighty, that looks good. Let's push this out a little bit more. There we go. Alright, sounds like the audio is doing pretty good here. So right now we do have a tornado warning in the St. Louis area right now. As you can see, here's our tornado warning right in the purple, but our area of rotation is actually on the northern edge of this warning. So if you're saying to northern St. Louis, there into Maryland Heights, over up towards Ferguson, into Hazelwood, you need to be in your safe spots right now because that's where we have our area of rotation. Also, a very large hail core on this storm right now that we're watching as well. Damaging winds can be expected as well. So even if you're not in this tornado warning, you want to be indoors and away from windows because we've got damaging hail in the storm, possibly some damaging wind gusts, and also that area of rotation that we're watching there as well. A little bit new setup here as I had to turn on this very fast as this is kind of an emergency live stream, wasn't planning on it. But if we look at rotation right here, if we look at base velocity, let me get our base velocity on for you guys. So this shows our area of rotation, and green is winds moving towards the radar, and red is winds moving away from the radar. And right now we don't see a very defined area of rotation. We have maybe a little bit of some broad rotation near St. Charles, in between St. Charles and Maryland Heights right now. But overall, I can't really pick out that one spot where we're seeing, a very good area of rotation right now, which is very, very good news. But we're still watching this closely. You still do want to be in your safe spots if you're in this tornado warning. This is shifted a little bit to the north, I think, from what I can see, a little bit to the north here. So again, we're watching this to the north of downtown St. Louis. We do have that tornado warning. This is going to include places such as Hazelwood, down into Ferguson here as well. I can't get the exact cities here, but if we zoom in, yeah, you can see Ferguson into Jennings here, Creve Coeur, Maryland Heights. You want to all be in your safe spots right now as the storm moves through. If there's an area of rotation, it's going to be somewhere in here. Thankfully, if I had to place a bet on it, there's not a tornado warning, or there's not a tornado on the ground right now. I do not think there's a tornado on the ground right now, but that can change. So you want to be in your safe spots if you're in Ferguson, Florissant, and then all the way to the Mississippi River. So say into West Alton, over into Wood River, Illinois, as the storm moves over that way. And you can see a very, very strong hail core right now in the storm in between Florissant, Ferguson, and Jennings. You want to be indoors and away from windows. Indoors and away from windows. And and in your safe spots as we're watching that area of rotation right now. Again, this is a developing situation in St. Louis right now. If I zoom out, you can see just to the north of downtown, we got this area of rotation, but also this very strong hail core as the storm is intensifying. We're going to see damaging hail, possibly some damaging wind gusts here as well. So I hope the audio is working good. I think it is. But again, we're covering storms throughout Missouri and even down into Oklahoma. Now we have do have another storm, as you can see right over here off towards Owensville near Jefferson City, just to the east of Jefferson City. This was actually tornado warned, so we're going to have to watch this storm. Once this storm leaves the St. Louis area, that has a tornado warning on it. We're going to have to watch this storm over here that is currently severe thunderstorm warning. And we're going to see that move into the St. Louis area here in the next couple of hours as we go into late evening and overnight hours. Right now it's 6:50, and we do have, again, this tornado warning into parts of the St. Louis metro. If we look at the exact what the wording from the National Weather Service, let me see if I can get that here for you. It does not want me to do it. Let me see if I can get that. Alright, we can't get the exact wording right now, but I'll work on that. Again, here's our hail core in between Florissant and Maryland Heights into Ferguson, moving into those areas right now. Again, Jennings, you're next into Blackjack, Spanish Lake. Those are going to be the areas in North St. Louis that are going to be next for this hail core, this damaging hail. You don't want to be caught outside. You want to be indoors, away from windows, and in your safe spot, since we also do have a tornado warning with this storm. Again, if we look at the velocity where we can determine where we have that area of rotation, I'm really not seeing that right now, which is very good news. I highly doubt there is a tornado on the ground, but like I said, that can change. So we're watching this potential very closely as, again, we do have this tornado warning right now. And I really do want to get that wording, but it's not cooperating with me. But we can get that wording from the National Weather Service. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Oh, here it is. Alright, so here we go. Radar indicated rotation, which from what they're seeing on the radar, there is an area of rotation. Right now, though, it is not tight, which means there's likely not a tornado on the morning, or a tornado on the ground right now. At 6:45 p.m. Central Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So it's capable of producing a tornado, but the main threat's going to be that large hail. We're watching that area of circulation right now, but overall it's not strong right now, which means, again, there is a very high chance there's no tornado on the ground right now, and it remains in effect until 7:15. For context, right now it's about 6:52 Central Time, and you can see that hail core right now. Again, Florissant moving into Ferguson, going to be moving into Blackjack and Spanish Lake here in the next 10 minutes. I mean, here right now, it's going to be moving into those areas I just mentioned. Again, North St. Louis into Jennings, up through Blackjack, Spanish Lake, West Alton. That's where we're watching for this storm to be moving in the next couple of minutes. The main threat you're going to want to watch out for is that hail, but again, we also do have that area of rotation right now, and as you can see, here's likely where we would have our area of rotation. It is not strong. If we look at our velocity here, yeah, not very defined. If there was one, it would probably be in here if there was an area of rotation, but we're not seeing a very strong one right now. But right now I'm in my studio, which is in my basement, since we are under this tornado warning, barely though. The area of rotation is not moving over my location, but this is mainly a severe thunderstorm warning storm. We also do have that tornado warning, but that area of rotation, like I've been saying, is very weak. But very large hail, damaging hail in this storm. If you're in Jennings up towards Spanish Lake, even into Wood River, Illinois there as well, south of Alton, you want to start getting prepared. You want to be indoors, away from windows, and in your safe spot as a strong tornado warned and severe thunderstorm warned storm moves through. Again, you want to be indoors and away from windows, as significant large hail is expected with this strong hail core. As you can see, Here's our color table right there, and the higher up you go, the more likelihood that we have big time hail. And we're all the way pretty much at the top of the chart, so you can see there in the blacks and in the purples as well. So if you're just tuning in, we are watching a tornado warning storm moving into St. Louis, just to the north of downtown St. Louis right now. Overall, a weak area of rotation, and then another storm off to the west, and that's going to be south of Warrenton, coming into the Herman area here soon, as you can see right there near Herman, in between Owensville and Herman, and that has the potential of maybe going tornado warned as well here, so that's going to be moving in. But right now, the storm we're dealing with in the immediate St. Louis metro, if I zoom out here a little bit, you can see here's our storm, there's our area of rotation. If we really zoom in, coming into Jennings, if you're in Jennings right now, you need to be in your safe spots, you need to be away from windows, you need to be indoors. Hail, and this area of rotation actually looks like it's strengthening just a little bit. Again, this is to the east of Maryland Heights, the east of Overland. Right now, Maryland Heights, you're in the clear for now, but we got to watch that storm that's going to come in right now. Creve Coeur down through Ladue, you're in the clear, but off to your northeast into Ferguson, into Jennings, that's where we're watching this storm right now. This is going to be north of University City, north of downtown near Jennings, again Ferguson. And if we look at our area of rotation right here, a little bit of some strengthening. Again, the green is winds going towards the radar, and the red is winds going away from the radar. So we got green winds going towards the radar, red winds going away from the radar. Right in here, we may have a little bit of rotation. So if we're in Jennings right now, we need to be in your safe spots. That area of rotation is moving over you right now. Same thing with you guys there. Again, in Blackjack into Hazelwood here, as well as Spanish Lake, Bellefontaine neighbors in these areas into North St. Louis, north of downtown St. Louis. You need to be indoors, away from windows, and in your safe spots right now. So most interior room of your home, away from windows, get to the lowest level of your home in the most interior room. So if you have a basement, most houses in St. Louis do, you want to be in there right now. You want to be in your basement right now. Bellefontaine neighbors moving into your area next. Spanish Lake as well. Jennings moving into your area right now. And then we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to be a very large one, including places into Edwardsville here, into Glen Carbon. So this storm, which carries a very large hail threat, also that area of rotation that we're watching, and damaging winds, is moving across the Mississippi River here in the next, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes. And Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, you're next up in line. So you want to start getting prepared. Maybe, continue to watch this radar, tune into the stream. We could have this tornado warning extended as well. Again, this tornado warning is to the north of St. Louis. It's to the north of St. Louis, to the north of Forest Park, to the north of Clayton, Ladue, Creve Coeur. This storm is not coming towards you guys right now. It's moving off to your northeast. So you guys are in the clear for now, but this isn't the last storm of the night, which is likely. This is not going to be the last storm of the night. I think the audio is working good now, but again, we do have that hail, again, just to the north of Jennings and the Ferguson. The area of rotation is very, very weak at this point, and we don't really see a very strong area of rotation. If we did, it'd probably be right in here near Jennings and Ferguson, but just to be safe, you do want to be in your safe shelters right now, in your safe spot. Again, most interior room of your home, in the lowest level of your home. But if you're down into, say, Clayton, didn't mean to do that, but if you're down into, say, Clayton, over towards St. Louis, Midtown, Central West End, University City, into Forest Park area, Ladue, Baldwin, you guys are in the clear. You guys are in the clear right now from this storm. It is moving off to your northeast. No need to panic. You guys are in the clear. But in North St. Louis, that's where the storm's moving through right now as we speak. And again, look at that. Here's our color table. The farther up on that color table, the more likely you are to have damaging hail. And we're all pretty much at the top of the charts, as you can see, with the blacks, the whites, and the purple, which means we have a very strong hail core. Up to 3-inch sized hail is possible, 2 to 3, maybe 1.5 to 3-inch sized hail with this storm. And we've seen that hail core strengthening. And next in line, going to be Mitchell, Illinois there, across the Mississippi River, Wood River, Illinois, South Roxana, Illinois here, and then moving into Glen Carbon, Edwardsville as well. And eventually we're going to have to watch this and move towards Hamel, Grand Fork, Alhambra, to the north here of I-70. It's going to be moving along and to the north of I-70. That's what it's looking like right now. Here's or I think we got, I-70 right in here. It's going to be moving along into the north there of I-70. So Edwardsville, Glen Carbon there as well, over towards Highland. We'll likely go to the north of you guys, north of Horseshoe Lake, here south of Staunton, but this area of possibly some hail could be moving towards Godfrey, Dorsey, and Staunton as well. But our main area we're watching is going to be moving towards Edwardsville, Glen Carbon here in the next, I'd say, 15 to 30 minutes here. And you can see we still do have a little bit of some area of rotation if we continue to watch this. If we have an area of rotation, it's right in here, north of Jennings into Ferguson. Again, if you're down here into Jennings, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Bellefontaine neighbors in your safe spots. Spanish Lake, you guys as well. As this tornado warning is very small, but it is there because there's radar indicated rotation. It is very weak. If I had to put a bet on it, I would bet that there's not a tornado on the ground right now, because I do not think there's a tornado on the ground right now. That area of rotation is very weak. But right now, I'm in my basement. That tornado warning, I think, let's see, I think it has expired for my location at least, so that is good news. But again, we do have another storm over to our west, and you can see a little bit of a hook on that storm as well. We're going to have to watch rotation with that storm and hail, and that's going to be moving into the St. Louis area. Again, these storms moving east-northeast towards St. Louis, and we're going to have to watch that as well. And then that line of storms is going to come in around 11 to 1 a.m., maybe a little earlier as you go to the northwest of St. Louis, and that's when that's going to be moving in with mainly a threat for hail as well as damaging winds there, but we could be watching for some embedded areas of circulation. But this storm is, again, moving through the North St. Louis area in the immediate St. Louis area. Here's downtown St. Louis. Here's around. Jennings is right here. Ferguson moving off to your east right now, but still probably raining there. And we continue to see that hail core again. This is north of St. Louis. U-City, Clayton, Ladue, Kirkwood, Baldwin, Chesterfield, Maryland Heights. You guys are in the clear right now from this storm. Now, are you in the clear for the rest of the night? No, we're expecting more storms on the way, but no need to panic if you're saying U-City or Clayton. You're in the clear right now. The storm did move to your north, but I think we had a report in Chesterfield of golf ball sized hail, and I think we're going to see reports of even bigger sized hail if we look here. I think this is a report right here, event hail. Look at this right here, place Ferguson, and it looks like we got 1.5 inch hail. I wouldn't be surprised if we get reports of up to 2 to 3 inch size hails. That's a pretty large hail core there. And again, this is going to be moving towards Mitchell, South Roxana, Wood River, Illinois, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon. You're next in line. You guys want to start getting prepared, get indoors, get away from windows. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. We could see that tornado warning get extended as well, although it is a very broad area of rotation. We're not really seeing a tight area of rotation, at least, which is good news. I'm almost 100% sure that we don't have a tornado on the storm, but if we have an area of rotation, it's right here, right in here. See that right there, north of Jennings into Bellefontaine neighbors. You need to be in your safe spots. Right in there is where our area of rotation would be, and that's where we need to watch that. But mainly, right now, we do have that hail threat with that severe thunderstorm warning to the east of the Mississippi River into north of the East St. Louis into Edwardsville, Glen Carbon there as well. That's where we're watching this storm to be coming in soon. And again, this is one supercell we're watching, but another one we're watching is off to our west. And this is actually very interesting. We've been seeing this hook strengthen a little bit. And will that come into the St. Louis metro? Yes, it will likely take a very, very similar path to this storm. This storm right here, it's likely going to take a similar path coming into the St. Louis area, North St. Louis, St. Charles, St. Chesterfield, Washington there as well, Walden Spring. You guys are not in the clear for the rest of the night. We still got to get through this storm right here that's likely going to be coming towards our location. And also that line of storms that'll come in around midnight. So again, we still got a while to go before this threat will be over. This is really just the start of this threat tonight. And again, we've got that hail core. Looks like a weakening hail core, which is good news. That area of rotation right in here near Bellefontaine neighbors. And that's going to be moving to the east near Edwardsville and Glen Carbon here as well. All right. I'm getting a report of large hail in Hazelwood, Missouri here as well. Again, we have a tornado watch in effect for this area until midnight, for St. Louis until midnight. And the reason is we just had that storm, although it's not confirmed that we had a tornado touch down. And we also continue to have that supercell off to our west that's going to be moving towards the area here. I would say by 8 o'clock it would be in the St. Louis metro. So we're watching this storm closely, and this storm that's moving off to our east currently. Again, we still have that tornado warning for Jennings, for Bellefontaine neighbors. You need to be in your safe spots. Everywhere else in the severe thunderstorm warning, Edwardsville over towards Highland. I think Fairview Heights is in this as well, South Roxana. They're just to the east of the Mississippi River. You need to be in your safe spots right now. Good news, though, this storm does look like it's weakening. Again, this is to the north of St. Louis, north of U City, Clayton, all those areas. You guys are in the clear for right now, but not for the entire night. We just got started with these storms, and we're going to have to watch for another one as it moves into the area. Just checking reports here across the city. Again, that storm's moving into Edwardsville right now. Weak rotation. And then that other storm, as you can see, off to the west of St. Louis, where we're going to be watching that one as well. All right, again, that storm is weakening. That is good news. Pretty much no rotation on the storm. I would say we really don't need to worry about this tornado warning or the tornado threat with the storm right now. That can change as it moves to the east of the Mississippi River. This tornado warning will expire soon. This tornado warning here will expire soon, but again, it's moving into Edwardsville, Glen Carbon. For the most part, this is just going to be a hail, damaging wind threat. We're going to have to monitor if that tornado threat redevelops here. But again, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, right now downtown St. Louis, to the west towards Clayton, Ladue, into Kirkwood, U City, you know, most of those immediate suburbs. You guys are in the clear right now, but we do have another storm that's going to be moving due east, maybe a little northeast, and that does have a pretty pronounced hook on it. We're going to have to watch, again, as that moves to the east towards the St. Louis metro area. It's around Herman right now. You can see a little bit of an area of rotation. Right now, no tornado warning on that storm, which means the area of rotation likely isn't the strongest, but we do have a hook on that storm. As you can see, we do have a little bit of rotation. We're going to have to watch if not having a tornado warning changes and we actually do that, get that into effect. But again, that's another supercell. This one looked a lot similar when it was in this location, and it's going to be taking a similar path to that storm that just went through St. Louis. It's going to be coming to the east, a little bit to the northeast, probably affecting same areas. So again, if you're into Maryland Heights, if you're in the immediate St. Louis metro, from Kirkwood all the way up towards Ferguson, North St. Louis there as well into downtown, you still do need to be prepared. If you're in the immediate St. Louis metro in general, you are in the clear from that storm that we just went through, at least if you're south of Edwardsville there, to the southwest of Edwardsville. As you can see, to the west of St. Louis, we're in the clear from that storm. But we got another storm coming in, and then all of this rain and area you see right here, that's going to be developing likely into clusters and or maybe a line of storms, and that's going to be moving to the east-southeast as we go, say, towards midnight. So that's going to be a while, but we're going to have to watch this storm right now as well. That's south of Herman and north of Owensville, Missouri, and that's going to be moving towards St. Louis there. As well. So we're watching, multiple areas of storms. If we go down to Oklahoma City, that's where we do have another area of storms right now. No tornado warnings right now, although some of these storms will be capable of producing tornadoes, so we're going to be watching that there as well. But we go back to the St. Louis radar. I do not think we did have a tornado report with that storm. I do not think a tornado touched down. I haven't seen any official reports yet, but I'm monitoring that closely. Again, for right now, that tornado warning is likely going to expire, and we just have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect as that tornado warning will expire soon. Again, right now, yep, that tornado warning did expire. And right now we just do have severe thunderstorm warnings. If you are in any of these severe thunderstorm warnings, get indoors and away from windows, as there is a pronounced hail threat on almost every single one of these storms. Again, there is no tornado threat in St. Louis right now. There is no tornado threat, no tornado warning anymore. That has expired, and I'm pretty sure we did not see a tornado touch down at any time, but I'm not 100% on that. We definitely did see a wall cloud. We definitely saw a wall cloud, those clouds lowering. But I'm not sure if we saw a tornado touch down or not. Again, if I had to place a bet on it, I would not think we did. And that wasn't the last of the storms. We got that supercell off to our west as well. But no tornado warning right now for the St. Louis area. That tornado warning has expired. Right now we're in the clear, but not for the rest of the evening. We're going to have more storms coming in. We're going to continue to have those training of those supercells, as you can see that one off to our west, along that warm front near St. Louis, and that storm's going to be moving right into the St. Louis area. Again, we are not done with storms tonight. Although that storm has moved through, we've got another one that's going to be on the way, and you need to be prepared for that as well. Also, we may change the green screen here. I just did the TV to really set the stream up fast, but we may change to green screen. We'll see. I would probably have to start a new stream. Alright, we're probably going to change the scene here so I can do this a little bit easier. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Alright. Audio sound good? Alright. Okay, if you just tuned in, we are live covering storms from Oklahoma all the way through Missouri and into Illinois. That storm that was tornado warned and produced a wall cloud, but likely not a tornado, right now is going just to the north of Edwardsville, Illinois, into South Roxana, Wood River. The main threat is going to be small hail and damaging winds, but overall that storm has weakened quite a bit, which is very good news. But we do have another supercell storm. Again, these storms riding this warm front, and we're watching that storm here to the west of the city near Herman and Berger. I'm probably saying that wrong, but New Haven, Missouri, to the northwest of Washington, Missouri, and that's going to be taking a direct path into St. Louis. There's a little bit of a hook on that storm. Could we see some rotation with that storm as well? We're watching that as well, taking a very similar track to the storm that just came through. So we're gonna have to be watching that storm here, as well as, again, it moves towards the St. Louis area. The main threats are gonna be hail, and in that area of rotation, also some damaging wind gusts will be possible there as well. We do not have any tornado warnings right now. And again, that storm that was tornado warned in St. Louis, in the direct St. Louis metro, has significantly weakened. As you can see right there, that's nothing what it looked like maybe 30 minutes to an hour ago as it was over Weldon Spring, Chesterfield, and Maryland Heights. So that's very good news. And there we go. That severe thunderstorm warning has expired, which means that storm has really weakened. Still not severe thunderstorm warning. Still could see some small hail, maybe some strong but not damaging wind gusts on that storm. We're watching this supercell off to the west of St. Louis. Overall, it hasn't been able to really get that tight rotation really strengthen. Will that happen as it moves towards St. Louis? It's a very good possibility. That's why this is going to be a storm that we're watching very closely as we go towards 8 p.m., even until 8:30 as it is heading towards the St. Louis area. And overall, broad area of rotation, not a strong area of rotation right now. We do have another severe thunderstorm warning here to the north of Springfield near Bolivar, Missouri, up towards Hermitage, Warsaw. This is going to be heading towards Lake of the Ozarks. So say you're out on a boat right now, get off that boat, get inside. Okay, there we have that severe thunderstorm warning, including the Lake of the Ozarks, Camden, towards Decaturville, Eldridge, Sleeper, Gravois Mills, Missouri there, and Hermitage, as well as Urbana, Climax Springs, Max Creeks, Tunis, Lewisburg, Buffalo. All those areas I just mentioned, you need to be indoors and away from windows, as large hail and damaging winds are very likely with this severe thunderstorm warned storm. Alright, we do have a new tornado warning here near Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to be just to the northwest of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we do have a slight area of rotation right in here, an embedded area of rotation in this cluster of storms, as you can see right here. And if we look at base velocity, there is, if we look back here again, there is an area of rotation right in here. As you can see right in here, we do have that area of rotation. If you're in Winona or Barnsdall, Oklahoma right now, you do need to be in your safe spots and away from windows right now. Again, we do have a tornado warning right now currently. Yeah, that cell to the west does look menacing. Although it does not seem like it's tightening up, which is good news. All right, let's get the wording from the National Weather Service. Radar confirmed tornadoes. We have a radar confirmed tornado near Winona, Barnsdall, Avant, here to the northwest, well out of the metro of Tulsa, here to the northwest of Tulsa. And right in here is where our rotation is. Let me see if I can get this up right here so I can circle things for you guys. Again, right in here is where our rotation is. We likely could have a tornado on the ground right now. If we're in Barnsdall, Nelligoni here, Winona, that area of rotation is going through you guys right now. You need to be in your safe spots right now if you're in those towns I just mentioned. And again, here's our area of rotation right in here. There's our area of rotation, as you can see right there. Oh, let me see it. Yeah, here's our area of rotation right in here, and that's what we need to be watching for a possible tornado on the ground moving towards Barnsdall, Nelligoni, moving to the east of Winona, and eventually up over towards Acaleta. I might not say all these towns right because, especially in Oklahoma, it seems that they do have a lot of weirdly named towns. But tornado warning remains in effect until 8 p.m. Central Time for East Central Osage County at 7:25 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. A confirmed tornado was looking 3 miles south of Winona, moving east at 45 miles an hour. So a confirmed tornado, radar confirmed tornado, which means the National Weather Service has enough confidence in what they're seeing from the radar, that they think there's a tornado on the ground right now near Winona, just to the south of Winona, moving towards Barnsdall. You need to be in your safe spots right now. Lowest room of your home, in the lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home. And you can kind of see that hook we talk about with tornado warned storms a lot. And here's that area of rotation again. Red is winds going away from the radar, and green is winds going towards the radar. And right here, where those kind of meet, right in here, that's where we're going to be having our area of rotation again, where those meet, especially right here, just to the southeast of Winona. I think this is where we could have that tornado if it is on the ground, moving straight towards Barnsdall, north of that lake right there near Barnsdall, near Nelligoni there as well. So we're watching these storms down into Oklahoma here as well. And then we also do have some severe thunderstorm warnings, including parts of the DFW Metroplex. So as you can see right here, a storm near Denton, down towards Highland Village, Louisville, the Colony here. I do not remember what that lake is called, but Lakewood Village, Lake Dallas, I guess that's what it's called. Highland Village, Louisville here. You need to be in your safe spots right now, as well as you need to be indoors and away from windows. Sorry, this is not a tornado warning. I'm so used to saying that now that we've been covering tornado warnings here for the last 30 minutes to an hour. But again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning north of Dallas, as you can see, north of Fort Worth, and you want to be away from windows and indoors. We also do have another severe thunderstorm warning south of Fort Worth in the Crowley, Joshua, Claiborne, and then some Mansfield, Texas as well. Again, damaging winds and some hail, possibly some medium-sized hail, maybe some large-sized hail up here near Lake Dallas as that storm moves in. Again, we do have that radar-confirmed tornado right here near Winona, moving into Barnsdall. Here's our rotation right in here, and this has been strengthening. Here's our area of rotation, and you can see this is moving off to the northeast towards Barnsdall. Going to move likely in between Nelligoni and Barnsdall. You need to be in your safe spots right now. If you're in Barnsdall, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Next in line is going to be Bartlesville, down towards Oglesby, as well as Acalata. Can't say that right. I'm sorry. These town names are very interesting to say the least. But again, we do have this tornado warning over towards Barnsdall in this embedded area of circulation. Again, here's our embedded area of circulation. Radar confirmed tornado by the National Weather Service, which means they have enough confidence in looking at the radar that they do think a tornado could very possibly be on the ground. And as you can see right in here, that's where our area of rotation is. Again, green is winds going towards the radar, and red is winds going away from the radar. And we can see that there is going to be some rotation right in here again. There's going to be some rotation right in here, as we do have, again, red winds going away from the radar and green winds going towards the radar. Right in here is where we have that broadening rotation, which is good, means it is weakening a little bit. We could see that strength in there as well. Again, Barnstable, Nelligoni, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Avant points north there in rural Oklahoma, north of the Tulsa Metro. North of the Tulsa Metro, the next bigger town is going to be Bartlesville, and then all the way south towards Ramona as well. In between Bartlesville and Ramona, that's where that storm is going to move through. If you're not in this tornado warning, there's also that threat of large hail and damaging winds as well with that storm. Again, we do have the storm to the west of St. Louis right now. St. Louis. And we're watching this storm as well. Overall, this is not a big, strong, huge storm or anything like that, but it is something that we're going to have to watch. Overall, area of rotation pretty weak. It's a small storm, but it's something we're going to have to watch here, as it is a supercell, a weaker supercell moving into Innsbruck and Warrenton right now, and that's going to be moving into Weldon Spring, Chesterfield, St. Charles here in the next, I'd say, 30 minutes to an hour, So by 8 o'clock, should be near Weldon Spring, Chesterfield, up through St. Charles here as well. Again, the storm is to the west of St. Louis right now. You do only have one tornado warning, which is very good news. Today has not been a very prolific tornado day. We haven't seen, I don't think to my knowledge, a tornado on the ground yet. And I say yet because this threat is not over. By no means is this threat over, as we do have an ongoing confirmed tornado warning, including Barnstable, Avant, and points north towards Bartlesville here. And it will expire. Or if they let it expire, we'll see that here at 8 p.m. But again, at 7:25 Central Time, a confirmed tornado is located 3 miles south of Winona, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Again, this is our only tornado warning right now. That we're watching. And this is near Barnstable, and our area of rotation is right in here. We're moving into Barnstable right now. You need to be in safe spots right now. Bartlesville down through Ramona, areas in between there. You need to be starting to get prepared, as the tornado warning could very likely be extended for those areas I just mentioned. Again, here's our storm. Here's that little hook. Here's that little notch into the storm, into this cluster of storms, and that's where we're seeing our rotation again, right in here. Moving towards Barnstable right now. You need to be in your safe spots if you're in that tornado warning. All right, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning on the storm near Innsbruck right now, north of Marthasville, towards New Melle, Weldon Spring, O'Fallon, St. Paul, Old Monroe, Wentzville, all those areas. Again, we're going to be watching for hail. 2 weeks ago, a little bit more than 2 weeks ago, we were talking about and covering that hail threat there that we had. We had 2 to 3 inch, very large, damaging hail in that area. And you're under the gun again tonight as we're watching this storm that looks actually eerily similar to that storm moving into Innsbruck, Wentzville, O'Fallon, eventually into St. Charles, into Weldon Spring. Here, don't know if I'm saying that exactly right, but New Melle there, north of Washington and Marthasville, Missouri. Again, the main threats are going to be, again, hail, ping pong ball sized hail, and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So ping pong ball sized hail, about like that. We're going to be seeing that falling into Wentzville and O'Fallon here, into Dardenne Prairie, into Weldon Spring here as well. And this severe thunderstorm warning does go until 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Northwestern St. Charles County, southwestern Lincoln County, and southeastern Warren County is where this new severe thunderstorm warning is located. Again, here's our area of hail. Again, we're going to have probably 1 to 2 inch size hail moving into Wentzville, Dardenne Prairie, O'Fallon, Weldon Spring, New Mel until 8 to 8:30. So we're watching that, and eventually that's going to probably stretch into northern St. Louis area, so into Florissant, St. Charles as well. You guys are next in line, but that you're going to have a while. Start getting prepared though if you're in O'Fallon, Dardenne Prairie, Wentzville. If you're in St. Peter's, O'Fallon, cover your cars right now. If they're not in the garage, if they're not under the carport, do that right now before it's too late. And most importantly, get yourself inside and away from windows, especially on this type of storm where we're going to have that damaging hail, ping pong ball sized hail. You don't want to be near windows because possibly we could see broken glass and those hailstones going through the window, and you really don't want to be there when that's happening. Overall, not a very big area of rotation, not a strong area of rotation, but we're definitely going to be seeing some damaging wind gusts, up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and ping pong ball sized hail. Alright, just had to turn on a light there real quick. But there's a storm chaser, Brad Arnold. He's on this storm right now. So if we see anything with this storm, I'm going to see it on the stream that I'm watching right now. Hey Nicholas, how are you? Again, the storm is moving into Innsbruck, into Wentzville, Dardenne Prairie, Weldon Spring, Cottleville, O'Fallon here until 8:30 is when that warning will likely expire. But again, this is moving towards New Mel, Weldon Spring, Cottleville, O'Fallon, St. Paul, Flint Hill, Wentzville. You guys need to be indoors away from windows. And if you can, in St. Peter's, quickly cover your car, anything valuable outside right now before this storm moves in here in the next 30 minutes to an hour. All right, let's go back to that storm into Oklahoma because we need to watch that very closely as there's pretty strong rotation on that storm near Bartlesville. Again, here's our area of rotation right in here near Barnstable. And that's going to be moving towards Bartlesville, Oglesby, Occolata there, Ramona, in between Bartlesville and Ramona up towards Occolata. Maybe saying that town wrong. If you know the pronunciation, please put in the chat. But again, Barnstable, areas north, that's where that area of circulation is. That's going to be moving into Bartlesville and into Ramona, in between Bartlesville and Ramona here in the next 20 minutes. In the next 20 minutes, it's going to be moving into those areas. Again, Bartlesville points south near Occolata. You need to be starting to get prepared. The tornado warning does not include your area right now, but there is pretty significant rotation on the storm. As you can see, that notch right in there, so we're watching that very closely. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings, including Stillwater, Oklahoma, one into Cleveland and Jennings, Oklahoma. Again, these are all to the northwest and west of Tulsa, and then some storms down into the DFW metro there as well. But overall, fingers crossed we don't see anything later tonight. But we haven't really seen too much tornado action. I don't think we've had a tornado on the ground. Very possibly, though, the storm, again, to the northwest of Tulsa near Bartlesville, Oklahoma, could produce a tornado. So we could see a tornado with this storm. No confirmation that there's a tornado on the storm, although there's radar confirmed, which the National Weather Service has confidence in the radar from what they're seeing here. Looking at the radar, that we could very possibly have a tornado on the ground because the radar signature does show a pretty intense area of rotation. So we're watching that Barnstable, Occolata, Bartlesville over towards Oglesby there as well. We see storms from DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth Metro, all the way through St. Louis and even into Illinois. Again, the storm's moving into Wentzville, O'Fallon, Weldon Spring, St. Paul, Flint Hill, Missouri, to the north of the immediate St. Louis metro, to the northwest of downtown St. Louis. And again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but we're going to have to watch for hail and damaging winds on that storm. There we go. What's very good about this storm, as although we do see that hook, there's not a pronounced tight area of rotation on the storm, which is why we haven't seen a tornado on it, a tornado warning on it in a while. We did see that earlier over towards Herman into Gasconade County, but we haven't seen that, so that is very good news. Still, some damaging hail and damaging wind gusts on the storm, as that severe thunderstorm warning includes Weldon Spring, Dardenne Prairie, Cottleville, St. Peters, O'Fallon, St. Paul, Old Monroe, Flint Hill, and Wentzville, Missouri. You guys need to be indoors and away from windows. Yeah, Mark, we have a basement. So I'm in the basement right now, which is very good that my weather office, I guess you could say, is in the basement where my computer is and streaming setup is. Yeah, the hook does look menacing, but there's not really much rotation on it, which is very good news. Could that change? That's very possible, so we're watching that. But I do want to, again, hone in on this storm near Tulsa, to the north actually, of Tulsa. And again, this is going to be moving into Bartlesville, in between Bartlesville and Occolata here again in the next 10 to 20 minutes. Moving into those areas. If we look at base velocity, here's that notch. Here's that area of rotation, and that's going to be going off to the northeast in between Bartlesville, Occolata, in between Ramona, Bartlesville. You guys need to be indoors in your safe spots on the lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home. And we did see that tornado warning expanded, and that includes Bartlesville into Occolata, Oglesby here as well. This is going to be, I think, radar indicated rotation. Yes, radar indicated. So from looking at the radar, we have indicated that there's rotation on the storm. So we need to watch the potential for a tornado to be produced from Bartlesville down through Ramona here in rural Oklahoma, north of Tulsa. Oglesby, Bartlesville, Occolata, you need to be lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home. Put as many things between yourself and the outside world as possible. Again, only one tornado warning storm right now, which is good news. We have a storm moving into Lebanon, Lewisburg, Windyville, Buffalo, Missouri here to the northeast, or to the north really, of Springfield, Missouri, and that's going to carry the threat for large hail damaging winds and maybe a little bit of an area rotation that we'll have to watch there as well. Again, we're watching a storm moving into Innsbruck right now, likely seeing hail in Innsbruck and then into Wentzville, Fallon, Dardenne, Prairie, Weldon Spring. Severe thunderstorm warned. If we look at the description from the National Weather Service, ping pong ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This is radar indicated rotation. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail. That's from the National Weather Service. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted, again, like I've been saying, O'Fallon, St. Peters, Wentzville, Lake St. Louis, Dardenne Prairie, Warrenton, Weldon Spring, Wright City, Cottleville, St. Paul, Moscow Mills, Winfield, Marthasville, Truesdale, and Innsbruck there. And there's that storm. Although it does have that hook on it, we are not seeing much rotation with the storm, but we could see some damaging winds and definitely some damaging hail there. So Wentzville to O'Fallon to St. Paul up towards Old Monroe. Here, Old Monroe down through St. Peters along I-70 as the storm rides I-70 down through Dardenne Prairie, Weldon Spring, and Cottleville. Along that Missouri River and points north, you need to be indoors and away from windows. Indoors and away from windows as the storm moves into your location. We do have a storm chaser on this storm, so if anything does happen, we'll likely get some info on that. Again, if I zoom out here, you can see where this storm is. Again, severe thunderstorm warning storm moving into O'Fallon, Wentzville, along I-70, north of Chesterfield, Missouri, and to the northwest of St. Louis. As the storm continues, it'll be moving into St. Charles and into North St. Louis here by the time we get into 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Probably by 9 o'clock is when that'll be happening. All right. That storm that I just talked about having potential rotation on it north of Springfield. There we go. We do have a new tornado warning on that storm. Very large tornado warning, including Lebanon, Missouri. Okay, we do have a pretty pronounced hook here near Buffalo, Missouri. If we look at base velocity, that is not the best look at that. But if we look right here, can we see that area rotation? Hold on, I'm trying to get a good look at this potential area of rotation here near Buffalo, Missouri, to the north of Springfield, but that doesn't look like it's going to be a very good view. But again, there's a potential area of rotation going over Buffalo, Missouri right now. This will be heading towards Lebanon, Sleeper, Missouri, Dry Knob, Missouri here, north of Evergreen and Phillipsburg, Missouri. If you're in Lebanon, Missouri right now, you'd need to be in your safe spots. You need to be in the most interior room of your home and away from windows, as the storm capable of producing large hail and possibly a tornado is going to be moving towards your location here in the next hour. If we look at the wording from the National Weather Service, radar indicated rotation, baseball-sized hail, guys, with this storm, and that's why we're watching it very closely. Again, that's going to be very large hail, radar indicated rotation. At 7:44 Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Buffalo, moving east at 50 miles an hour. Though that storm's moving fast. Central Dallas County in southwestern Missouri, east central Polk County, and Laclede County are included in this. So very large, wide tornado warning here, and we can see a pretty significant area of rotation right in here. Yeah, shouldn't have that yet. We shouldn't have any debris yet, which is good news. But again, there's that hook, and we're going to be having to watch the storm as it moves into Lebanon, Missouri. You need to be in the lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home right now as the storm moves in. You've got time, guys. You've got time. This will probably be moving into Lebanon, Missouri by the time we go towards 8:30. So again, this storm's going to be moving fast, though, at 50 miles an hour. So it'll be there before you know it into Lebanon. You need to be in your safe spots, lowest level of your home, in the most interior room of your home in Lebanon, in Sleeper, Missouri, Windyville, Missouri. You guys are really next up in line. Buffalo, Missouri, you need to be there right now. And areas to the north of Phillipsburg and Evergreen, but especially here, Lebanon, Missouri. In these areas, the storm right here, it's going to be moving due east towards your location. Here's our area of rotation. Here's our hail, and that's going to be moving due east towards your location. That's going to be moving towards your location, towards Lebanon, towards Windyville, towards Sleeper. You need to be in your safe spots right now and away from windows. Here's that hook. There's that area of rotation. Still can't very clearly see that. Yeah, but if we have an area of rotation, it's likely right in here. That's where it would be. If we had a tornado touching down, it'd be right north of Buffalo right now, heading towards Windyville and Lebanon. We also do have that tornado warning continuing for Bartlesville, Oklahoma, as well as Oglesby, Nicoleta, Oklahoma here as well. Here's that notch, and here's that area of rotation, and this is going to be moving to the northeast in between Oglesby and Bartlesville. Again, there's that notch, there's that area of rotation. Thankfully, this is rural area, so there's still people that live here. So in Oglesby, Bartlesville, there's very possibly going to be a tornado on the ground. That's very possible, as this was a radar-confirmed at least tornado warning, as a pretty good radar signature. So you want to act as if there's a tornado on the ground. Oglesby, Bartlesville, be in your safe spots right now. Again, most interior room of your home, lowest level of your home, be away from windows. Basement, tornado shelter would be the best. Alright, we do have a new tornado warning as well, and this is going to be in the DFW Metroplex, so we're going to have to watch this storm closely. Let's see. Alright, it does not look like we have a pronounced area of rotation within the storm, but if we do have an area of rotation, if we were to have a tornado touch down, it would be south of Joshua here. If I zoom out here to give you a better look of where this is, again, this is south of Fort Worth. This is to the southwest of Dallas near Keene, moving into Alvarado, Livian, Venus, Briar, Oaks, Joshua, again in the southern metro, the DFW. Again, here's our area of rotation, a broad area of rotation here. Did not mean to make that big. A broad area of rotation right in here near Keene. Again, that's where we're watching that closely. Here's our area of rotation right in there. Over a broad area of rotation, if we were to see a tornado, it would be rain wrap. So please, please do not go out and try and see this. Get in your safe spots if you're in Alvarado, Venus, Lillian, Keene, Briar Oaks, as there's a broad area of rotation about to move over to those areas. But if we have that area of rotation, but we're also going to be watching hail and damaging winds, small hail and damaging winds on the storm right now. You're going to be indoors, away from windows, in the lowest level of your home, and in the most interior room of your home as you ride out the storm. Again, we have these clusters of storms from Dallas, points south, and points north into Oklahoma City here as well. Let's see if we can get the color table on here for you guys. Well, that's okay. Alright, let's check on that storm near Lebanon, Missouri, moving towards Lebanon here. And again, we still do have that area of rotation near Windyville, Lebanon. No confirmed tornado at this point. We want to act like that's the situation. If we're in Lebanon, Sleeper, Windyville right now, get in your safe spots. Get in the most interior room of your home, is the lowest level of your home, as there is a tornado warning in effect until 8:15 Central Time. 8:15 Central Time, and we will see if that gets extended. We're also watching a severe thunderstorm warning to the north of downtown St. Louis, to the northwest, really, of downtown St. Louis. And hail and damaging winds are very possible, are actually likely on this storm. And just checking on some storm chasers feed. Got a storm chaser on this storm to the, again, northwest of downtown St. Louis. Here we go. Here's downtown. And here's where the storm is. And again, large hail, damaging winds, Wentzville and O'Fallon. Ping pong ball sized hail. That's damaging hail. You don't want to be caught outside. You want to be indoors and especially away from windows where those hailstones are going to be pounding. And the storm that we're watching right now to the northeast of Springfield, coming into Windyville and Lebanon here. This tornado warning will expire unless it is extended at 8:15. So we're watching that in Lebanon, Windyville. Get in your safe spots, most interior room of your home, lowest level of your home. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for getting this information out to the people that need it. Again, we do have that broader area of rotation right now south of Bartlesville near Oglesby. If we do have a tornado on the ground right now, it'll be just to the north of Oglesby. Next in line is going to be Delaware, Nowata, Watauga, and Lenape, Oklahoma there. As you can see, as I zoom out here into eastern Oklahoma here to the north of Tulsa. That's where that tornado warning, if we do see it, will get extended. And again, those towns I just mentioned right in here. Our area of rotation is right in here near Oglesby. That'll be moving off to the northeast. I hope you guys all had a great Easter Sunday. By the way, just real quick here, we are exactly 1 week away from the eclipse. Technically less than a week away for places such as Texas into Arkansas and Missouri, because we'll be seeing that in the afternoon next Monday. So technically we are less than a week away, but yeah, a week away from that. Very excited. We'll be in Hot Springs, Arkansas for that great place there in the natural state. And we'll have coverage. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't have cloud cover. But sadly, the most likely area for cloud cover probably is going to be into Texas and Arkansas. Can that change? Yes. But for right now, that's what it looks like. And I'll try to get out, although I'm very busy this week, I'll try to get out a sort of eclipse cloud cover forecast if you guys would like that. That'll, again, go on YouTube. And then we'll have the sneak peek, as always, on Twitter, if I can get that out. And I hope I can, but definitely we'll have coverage from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Actually going to be staying in an area that was hit by a tornado about a little more than 2 weeks ago with that severe weather outbreak, tornado outbreak. So I may have footage of that as well. And again, 1 week from the eclipse. If you're like, say, an hour from totality, you want to definitely go to it. You want to drive to it. It's going to be worth it. 99%, although it sounds like 100%, it's not going to make a difference. It still really won't get dark like it does in totality. It's a whole different situation, 99% versus totality, and it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. And we won't have another one in the United States till 2045. Total solar eclipse till 2045. Okay? So, if you're near it, go to it. It's got to be worth it. Totality or bust. Yeah, I mean, you could put it that way for sure. For sure. Don't forget to go live tomorrow. We'll see. I actually wanted to do a little forecast. I might do that here in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow because I have to again go back to school tomorrow. Today is the last day of Easter break, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow. Possibly. But yeah, let me see if I can do that forecast here for you guys. Again, Lebanon, Missouri, you need to be in safe spots right now, as well as Bartlesville and Oglesby, Oklahoma. Nowata, Oklahoma, we've seen that extended. Delaware, Nowata, Oklahoma, you need to be in your safe spots right now. Lowest level of your home, most interior room of your home. Yeah, let me see if I can get that here. Alright. So we're going to try and do the forecast here for tomorrow. Let me get a couple more things pulled up here, actually, guys. Alright, so if you're just tuning in, we're covering severe weather right now, but I did want to kind of cap off this stream as I think I'm about to end it actually. With the forecast for tomorrow's event, which is really ramped up today, as we do have a moderate risk, a 4 out of 5, which, if you did not know, was a very significant and very serious threat, and that's going to include central parts of northern Ohio, really that central points of Ohio down through Columbus, south of Cleveland, through Columbus into Cincinnati, into extreme northern Indiana, extreme southeastern, extreme northern Kentucky, extreme southeastern Indiana, and then as well as extreme northwestern West Virginia there. But mainly Ohio. The two big cities that are in there are Columbus right here and Cincinnati right here. Under the gun with a moderate 4 out of 5 risk from the Storm Prediction Center. These do not get issued every day. These do not get issued every month. These do not get issued every couple of months. These are uncommon. We do see them during the storm season, but you don't get this every day. You don't get this with every threat. This is going to be a pretty significant threat. And if we look at the tornado threat from the Storm Prediction Center, you can clearly see where that threat is going to be more elevated from Nashville up to Louisville, and especially in that moderate risk. We have a 15%, which I don't really like to look at the percentages. I like to more look at how significant that is, and 15% is uncommon. It is uncommon. It is not every day that you see a 15% tornado threat. For example, today we had a 10%, tomorrow a 15%. That is a very significant tornado threat that needs to be taken seriously. That means that a tornado outbreak is very possible tomorrow into Ohio, into northern Kentucky, into parts of Tennessee, into middle Tennessee, and into parts of eastern Indiana there as well. A tornado outbreak in these areas will be possible as supercellular type storms capable of producing strong tornadoes will be moving over those regions. Again, Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and points south, Toledo, Ohio, and points south. That's where we're going to be watching for a very elevated tornado threat. Now, if we look at our, let me go back here. If we look at our hail threat, that is also very elevated. We have a 30% elevated risk in that moderate risk area. That's where we're going to have a very large hail threat with these supercellular storms like we usually see. So damaging hail is going to be something. If you see a storm, if you get under a storm, that's going to be very likely that you see damaging hail. And then lastly, our wind outlook, it is very elevated as well from Nashville all the way up towards Columbus, into Cleveland there, and into Cincinnati, Louisville as well. So wind, damaging wind gusts, large hail that will be damaging, and tornadoes. A couple tornadoes are likely. This could be a tornado outbreak with strong tornadoes on the ground tomorrow into Ohio. So let's time this out. Let's time this out with the HRRR model going into tomorrow. But first, I do want to quickly overview what's going to happen later tonight. So as we go here, and this is around as we go into this is midnight, we see these clusters or the line of storms moving into St. Louis. Damaging winds, hail, and a couple embedded areas of circulation are going to be likely along these clusters and this line of storms again as we go into early tomorrow morning. So going into around 12 to 2 to 3 a.m. and that'll be out of our hair likely by the time we get to around 3 to 4 a.m. that'll be out of our hair. Then we see those storms coming into Kentucky, southern Indiana, not very strong. We're not going to see much in the morning on Tuesday. But once we get into the afternoon on Tuesday, that's when we really see the storm action explode from Mississippi up into Nashville there in middle Tennessee and into middle Kentucky, central Kentucky, and into eastern Kentucky. But the main area I want you guys to focus on right now, you can look at where your location is, but if you're in Indiana and Ohio, focus on this area right in here. Focus on this area right in here as I play this out. Going into here around 4 p.m. Here's 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Notice anything about those storms? each one of these storms is a supercellular storm. These are all supercell storms. And what do we know about supercells? If we know just a little bit about weather, supercell storms are the type of storms that produce strong tornadoes and produce strong hail. And tomorrow these storms are going to be in an environment that is going to be conducive for strong tornadoes, and we're going to have to watch that if we're in Columbus or if we're down into Cincinnati. Again, as these storms move in, this is at 7 p.m. This is what the radar could look like tomorrow at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Supercell storms moving through central, eastern Kentucky or eastern Indiana into tomorrow afternoon and early evening, and then coming into western and central Ohio as we go into early tomorrow evening, into the evening hours and into the overnight hours. You can see those supercell storms moving through central Ohio from Cleveland, straight shot down into Cincinnati through Columbus. This is a very serious situation. We really want to take this seriously. You want to be prepared. Have multiple ways to receive warnings if you're in central Ohio tomorrow, from Cleveland down through Columbus, down through Cincinnati, and points in between. Again, pretty much anywhere in Ohio is going to be under the gun for severe storms, especially there into eastern and central Ohio tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening for that significant tornado threat, hail threat, damage, and wind threat. All hazards are possible with that heightened tornado and heightened hail threat with these supercell storms. Again, this is a day we do not see a lot. It's going to be a moderate risk, 4 to 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. And if we just do, say, a little box sounding here for these areas right in here, and see what is the atmosphere going to look like then. And as you can see, we do have those curved photographs. We have those winds changing with height. As you can see, here's at the surface, the winds are coming from the south. And then as you go up into the atmosphere, around 700 millibars, then we've got winds coming from the southwest. And then we have that rotation, as you can see right here. And the more curved that photograph is, we got that rotation right here there with that curved photograph. As you can see, significant hail parameter is going to be high as well, as we're expecting hail. And from looking at that, the sounding says possible hazard type tornado. And again, from looking at the data, this is why we are expecting a possible severe weather tornado outbreak tomorrow into parts of Ohio and into Indiana, because with this type of environment that's being forecasted from these models, it's going to be very conducive for the threat of strong tornadoes. Again, this is going to be tomorrow afternoon and evening into central and eastern Indiana, into western and central Ohio tomorrow afternoon and evening. So Indianapolis through I-70 over towards Columbus, Cleveland, down through Cincinnati. You need to be prepared tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. That about wraps up this more weather live stream. Can't talk, but I hope you guys share the stream. Thank you everybody for sharing the streams. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope we got this information to the people that needed it, and I may see you tomorrow. We'll wait and see, but go follow me on X for more updates. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay prepared out there, especially for that threat tomorrow that I just forecasted. Have a great rest of your evening.